do it. Yay, made it to class. Excited to be here. All right, let's come to a comfortable seat, everyone. Good morning. Nice to see you this new month. It's interesting how much effort it takes sometimes just to sit on the mat. But once you get here, it's such a relief to know that you've made it. So let's just rest here for a moment, close the eyes, and chant Om and Shanti together, using Om as a tool to help clear the mind, and then inviting some peace into that place. Om. I've always found mantra to be such an excellent tool to help create something in the mind. You know, if I'm disturbed, something's upsetting me, you know, repetition of mantra is a way to create some peace in my mind, in my nervous system. So we're going to look on page 6, number 25 of the Jivanmukti Chant book. In Sanskrit, it's Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Narayani Namostute. I salute the three-eyed Divine Mother, Narayani, who brings total auspiciousness and who fulfills the desire for liberation. Realization arises with her blessing. She is the world itself. Only through the experiences of life can the soul be perfected. Honor this gift, your life, bow to Mother Nature. And we'll do call and response. Om Sarva Let's start over, sorry. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike. Together. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Nurayani Namostute Nurayani Namostute Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Nurayani Namostute. All together. Om Sarva Mangala Mangalye Shive Sarvata Sadhike Sharanye Trayambake Gauri Nurayani Namostute. Nurayani Namostute. Nurayani Namostute. Om. Such a beautiful mantra. All right, today we're going to look at one of Patanjali's Yoga Sutras, which is the focus of this month. So on page 17, it's the middle of the page, it's YS 4.15, Yoga Sutra, chapter 4, Sutra 15. Patanjali recommends that we practice Vastu Samye Chitta Bedat Tahur Vibhaktaha Pentaha. Let's say that together. Vastu Samye Chitta Bedat Tayor Vibhaktaha Pentaha. Each individual person perceives the same object in a different way, according to their own state of mind and projections. Everything is empty from its own side and appears according to how you see it. This seems like perfect timing for what's going on right now in the world. David Life has written this month's focus, and he gives us this beautiful poem from the Tao, and it's about a yellow crane tower. I'm just going to kind of paraphrase the story. We can read it over the next month here. But basically it's a story of a man who owns a tavern, and one day this raggedy clothed beggar comes to him and asks him for a bowl of rice wine. And without even thinking about it, the owner of the business provides this bowl of wine. And the beggar drinks the wine and he leaves. And this continues to happen, like every day. And every day, the shopkeeper has the same attitude. He is humbled. He is able to provide something for someone who doesn't have something. And he doesn't flinch at all in his attitude or his generosity. So we could say after a long time, the beggar finally says to him, I owe you a lot of money by now. You have given me so much free wine for so long without even questioning it. And then all of a sudden, he opens up his satchel that he had, and he pulls out an orange peel. And he goes over to the wall of the tavern and he draws a crane with his orange peel on the wall. You know, this beautiful orange, yellowish orange crane. And he tells the shopkeeper, he says, whenever you want, all you have to do is play some music and clap your hands, and the crane will jump off the wall and begin to dance in your tavern. Upon that, the beggar claps his hands and starts playing some music, and the crane, amazing, jumps off the wall, comes to life, dances around the tavern. And so now, this beggar has provided this now famous tavern a way for this shopkeeper to earn money for the rest of his life, because it's such an attraction. People want to come and see this magical crane in action. And then not there long after, the skies open up and this beautiful crane flies down to where the beggar is in front of the tavern, and they fly away together. And read the story. We'll break it down over this next month, but it's really a beautiful story, and it's really asking us to invite kind of this welcome of maybe what we don't see, maybe what is limited by our projections, our experience in this life. It's hard for a lot of people right now to look at the news. Over the last week, and I can only speak from my own limited perspective, but I know that it makes me take a look at myself. It makes me look at the values that I have. It makes me look at where I place them in some places and keep them to myself and others. Makes me look at the country I live in, makes me look at how I communicate with others, and how I need a different perspective. How I need to look to others to show me a different way to see the inequality. It's easy for me to take a break from the news. It's easy for me to turn off the news for a moment. It's easy for me to look away. And I think I felt that recently, like I was fully invested. I wanted to know. I wanted to be right out in front of it. I wanted to post things on Facebook. I wanted to say that I care and I want to know how to handle this. And then honestly, after like 5 days of it, I was like, this is so overwhelming. This is so much. I want a break. That was what I thought. And then thankfully, people I know who have to go through this every day, I could take a moment and see that, like, they don't get to take a break from this. They don't get to just turn off the news. And see it as somebody else's issue, you know? And so I forced myself just to stay with it, to stay educated, to be open to what people are trying to teach me right now. You know, I have some people I know online who are writing blogs, they're posting comments, and the people I really learn from are the people who are acting in a very nonviolent way, people who are acting in a very conscious way, who are acting in a way to educate me. And that's something to look at. And Patanjali gives us a sutra because it asks us to begin to step outside of what we think we know. Step outside on how we see something in front of us. And can we just get enough distance from our own experience to see it from another angle, from somebody else's angle? And it's a practice. It's not something that should be easy. It's a tapas. It's something that's going to make us work a little bit harder. Maybe be it uncomfortable. So, thank God for our yoga practices, because I know they give me stability. They give me a place to reconnect. They give me a place to settle down my nervous system. Maybe pull back a little bit of the emotion, you know? Don't make it so much about me and my experience, and just be a witness to those around me and what they are going through. To be a witness to maybe not have to say anything, but just watch and listen and learn and educate. So, something that Sharon says a lot, and I know it's a quote, I think it's from the Hopi Indians. You know, we are the ones that we're looking for. You don't have to go any further than where you are right now to see who is going to educate you right now, who is going to show you how to be supportive. You know, one of my friends, someone asked him, you know, what can we do to support you right now? And he said, be part of the conversation. If you see me in a situation where someone's questioning my patriotism because I don't choose to take off a hat or put my hand in front of my heart during a national anthem, come and join the conversation. Don't shy away. Don't let them come after me. Come stand with me. I said, wow, that's really a great way to be supportive. And, you know, and I'll end with this, as I watch the news right now, it's amazing to see the diversity during the daylight hours, the true protesters out there who are peaceful, who are standing together. They're from every age, race, background. Now this is what Kevin is trying to educate me and others. That's all people want. They want some of us to begin to see things from their perspective. So, not to be all emotional or anything, let's just do one final Om and then we'll get into our asana practice. Inhale a breath. We'll throw some Shantis in there too because we need them. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. How's it look? So I thought we'd start off this month's focus in a light, normal way in my class. So let's get to it. Let's begin to see if we can use the power of our practice to change the way that we see others and ourselves as we relate to others. Another thing that Sharon says a lot, she says, sometimes we think people are in our way, but then she reminds us that people are the way. So let's come into the front of our mat, hands to prayer, in front of our hearts. And just think of somebody that you would like to uplift today. And I'm going to offer it up to you. I don't know him. I know of him. And that's George Floyd's brother, who's just really grieving in public. Can't be easy. So love and blessings up to you. Closing the eyes, begin your Ujjayi breathing, audible breath. We're going to start with a variation of sun salutation today. Release your arms down. We're going to inhale, hook the thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind and draw your arms long overhead. Inhale, hands down, sit back with your right foot into lunge, look up. Exhale, your left foot back, downward, facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, bend the elbows a little bit or a lot, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Again, inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. And then through bent knees, push your seat to your heels. Come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot steps forward into lunge. Exhale, left foot meets your right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly. Hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind, draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, left foot steps back, look up. Exhale, right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, bend the elbows a little bit or a lot, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through a low cobra. Through bent knees, push your seat to your heels, come back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward into lunge. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, release your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Pause in action. Something that Sharon says a lot too is that make me an instrument of thy peace. You know? I think this comes from Catholic prayer. You know, and what if that was my purpose today? Was to somehow really see myself as able to have equanimity of mind, even in really difficult situations, right? Because if I can't see peace in myself, how am I going to see it in others? If I can't be peaceful myself, how am I going to be that example for others? So, make me an instrument of thy will. Exhale, release your arms down. We'll just do a little bit faster now. You're going to inhale, hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward, overhead arch back. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind. Draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, right foot back, look up. Exhale, left foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward, plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward into lunge. Exhale, left foot meets the right, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly, hook your thumbs. Bring your hands forward and overhead. Exhale, folding forward with bent knees, and release your hands behind. Draw your arms long. Inhale, hands down, left foot back. Exhale, right foot back. Downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward into lunge. Exhale, right foot meets the left, fold forward. Inhale, bend your knees slightly. Hook your thumbs, bring your hands forward and overhead, arch back. Exhale, release your hands to prayer in front of your heart. Pause in action. Close your eyes. Just breathe the body. Take the seat of the witness. You know, the shopkeeper could have seen that beggar as an annoyance every day as he came around, but instead he saw it as an opportunity to practice charity, to practice humility, to practice good action, right? He never once saw it as a disposition or annoyance to him. So, important how we see things, what perspective we take, and yoga gives us the ability to change that perspective by taking the seat of the witness. On your exhale, release your arms down. Inhale, bend your knees, deeply lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, first warrior pose. On the exhale, open the arms wide, second warrior pose. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Option to stay here or again. Inhale, right foot forward, left heel down. Lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, hands down, step back, slowly lower. Up dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward. Right heel down, lift the prayer overhead. Warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, Slowly lower. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Option to hold here. If you've been holding downward facing dog, you want to come into child's pose. Come into your child's pose. Hold and breathe here. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, bend your knees, look forward. Step or jump between your hands, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, bend your knees, deeply lift the prayer up. Exhale, straighten your legs, hands to prayer. Right? Looking for stability in this moment. You know, as intense as the news is right now, it's really important, as we refer back to Sharon's directions at the beginning of this pandemic, to have balance. Don't spend all the time watching the news. Like I just watched the end of the day. Instead, find time for your practice. Find time to take good care of yourself. Take time to eat a proper diet, to get rest, get out in the sunshine. Don't just get stuck in the mind. On your exhale, you're going to release your arms down. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back and look up. Exhale, step or jump back. Slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot forward. Left heel down, lift the prayer overhead, warrior one. On the exhale, open the arms wide, warrior two. And we're going to hold here. I want you to first straighten the right leg. And then, because we put so much emphasis on our eyes and our vision of what we think we know by what we see with our eyes, I want you to close your eyes. We're going to take warrior two by bending the front knee in a moment, but I want you to just kind of feel your way there. Don't rush into it. Inhale a breath here. Eyes are closed. Exhale. Begin to bend the right knee. You know, I can feel I need to step my right foot forward a little bit more just to find that stable pose. And then let go of what you think you need to see. Instead, create the vision from inside. Where do I feel steady? Where do I need to make an adjustment? Does it matter what I see, what it looks like? No, it's more, can I find that steady, joyful seat that Patanjali recommends, right? Sthira Sukham Asanam. Hold and breathe here. If you notice there's a place you're holding tension, maybe in the shoulders, relax the shoulders a little bit. Continue to breathe here. On your exhale, you can open the eyes. Inhale, straighten your right leg. From here, you might want to adjust your feet again for triangle pose. You're going to reach as far forward as you can to the right side. You're going to lightly place your right hand down, so the stability here is through the legs, through the navel. You're going to lift the left arm up. If you feel like you're bearing a lot of weight in the right hand, just lift it up for a moment so you can better stabilize the legs, the hips, the navel. And then reach up through the left side. Bring your gaze to the hand above or something, not moving. Hold and breathe here. Inhale. Exhale, one. Inhale. Exhale, two. Inhale. Exhale, three. Inhale. Exhale, four. Inhale. Exhale, five. On your next inhale, come all the way up. On the exhale, you're going to bend your right knee. We're going to come to second warrior. You're going to bring your right elbow to your right knee, extend the left arm up and over the ear, reach on the diagonal. Think of warrior two legs here. Think of reaching long through the left side. As you exhale, open the twist a little bit further. You want to take an arm variation, come into that on your own, and then return to your gaze and your equal breath. And then on your next inhale, you're going to place your hands on either side of your front foot. And step back, plank position. Exhale, lower chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left foot forward, right heel down. Lift the prayer overhead. On the exhale, open the arms wide. Second warrior. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Close the eyes. Exhale, rebend the left knee. Again, feel what it is to be steady and joyful. Feel what it is to feel strong and stable. Hold and breathe here. Open your eyes, inhale, straighten your left leg. And exhale, reach forward and down for triangle pose. Again, be aware of the base of the pose, the standing legs. Straight legs are good. Strengthen the navel. Lightly place the left hand where it lands. Reach up through the right side. Bring your gaze to the hand above or something not moving. Your next inhale, come up. On the exhale, you're going to bend your left knee. And you're going to exhale, place your left elbow on your left knee. Extend the right arm up and over the ear. Extended side angle. Keep warrior two in the legs. Inhale, draws the right side long. On the exhale, further open your twist. If you're taking an arm variation, come into that on your own. Breathing here. Your next inhale, place your hands down, step back, slowly lower, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Shake the head out, flutter the lips. And then let's come to child's pose for a moment. Just take a seat here, child's seat. All right, just take a moment. Again, it's an opportunity to reset, to refocus, to ask for the ability to see the situation from another perspective. Right? Let go of all my own personal fear or prejudice or whatever comes up. And just watch and learn. Hear the voices of those who are there to be teachers right now. It was really beautiful. George Floyd's brother went to the place of his murder. And he asked everyone just to calm down, to be respectful to him and his brother, to act in a way that was mature and not to be violent, but instead to treat it as a sacred place. And as far as I could see last night, that's exactly what happened. Without any police intervention, people were able to look to each other and help manage each other in a way that they were able to be respectful in memory of George Floyd and his brother and his family. It was really beautiful. And that's what I'm excited about now. Who's going to come forward and be the voice that's going to help educate more people? Who's going to be the one that's going to help us find our way through this? It's definitely not some of our leaders. They're not going to be able to do this. It's pretty apparent, but others will come in their place, like George Floyd's brother. All right, let's come to a downward facing dog. Shake the head out here, flutter the lips. And then walking the feet towards the hands. gonna take a moment here, feet about hip distance apart, and just take hold of either elbow. You know, in forward bending, we let go of the past. So letting go of my past thinking, my past perspective, my past understanding. Right? Creating a place to be here in the moment, be a student, be a witness. You know, don't have to be afraid. Don't have to be overwhelmed. Instead, find a place where I'm steady and able to handle what's happening in this moment. On your next exhale, release your arms, take a soft bend in your knees, gently roll up. All right, let's try tree pose next. So you want to find something for your gaze. You know, if you're near a window like I am, it's nice to use a tree sometimes as your gaze place when doing the tree pose, because it's kind of giving you the example, the perspective of how to be steady. So I'm going to see this little tree out here in my courtyard. I'm going to draw my right knee up, give it a squeeze in. I'm going to release my right knee out to the side and place my foot firmly to the inner left thigh. How do I be stable in this tree pose? Well, I look to another tree to offer me its wisdom. Wow, it's so beautiful to make that connection. And then you could stay here, you could reach your arms up. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. One more breath, breathing in and breathing out. Bringing your right knee forward, release the foot to the floor, give everything a little shake out. Again, start with your gaze, please. Drawing your left knee up, give it a squeeze in. Release the left knee out to the side, place the foot firmly to the inner right thigh, hands to prayer, lift the gaze. And if you have access to a tree in your line of vision, use that as a way to help support and uplift you. See that tree as something giving you the example of how to be in its pose. It's kind of what my friend Kevin was saying. You know, how do you support me right now? He says, well, stand beside me when having the difficult conversation. You know, he said, I love my country. It's not about that. This is about what's happening right now. How do I take a silent protest, a peaceful protest in the police action against people of color? I'll stand beside Kevin. Definitely. If you hadn't already, reach the arms up. A few more breaths here. Bring your hands back to prayer. Bring your knee forward. Release the foot to the floor. Give everything a little shake out. Step or jump your feet together, front of the mat, hands to prayer. Inhale, bend your knees deeply, lift the prayer up, Utkatasana. Exhale, diving forward, place your hands down. Inhale, come to a flat back, look up. Exhale, step or jump back, slowly lower. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, back, downward facing dog. Keeping your left heel turned up. Step your right foot forward between your hands into lunge. Lift the arms alongside the ears. I know for me, it's important to learn how to slow down. Slow down in action, in my physical actions, in my speech, in my thinking. That's where the witness then can come in and I can begin to see things from another perspective. We're going to come into a twist from here. If you want to bring your back knee to the floor, that's always a good option. Inhale a breath. Exhale, twisting to the right side. Hook your left elbow to the outside of the knee, hands to prayer. You want to take an arm variation or bind, come into that on your own today. Inhale. On your next inhale, place your hands down, step back. Downward facing dog. We'll try the other side. Keep your right heel turned up. Step your left foot forward between your hands into lunge. Lifting the arms alongside the ears. Again, take your time, find a stable seat. Bend the front knee, push the back heel away, lift the gaze. And then we're going to take a twist. If you want to bring the back knee to the floor, do that now. Inhale a breath. Exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow creates the bind in the outside of the knee, hands to prayer. Take the same arm variation. Hold and breathe here. Inhale, place your hands down, step back, downward facing dog, and then just come into child's pose for a moment. So next we're going to look at crow pose. I'm going to give you the opportunity from a downward facing dog to jump into crow. Now I remember the first time I saw it on a video, it's like, you can't do that. That guy's super advanced. I don't know how you would ever do that. And it wasn't until I began to see it in a different way. Here's an example of something that I could do. If I really wanted to do it, I could learn how to do it. So I want you to bend your knees and look forward. You could just walk your feet forward, get ready for the crow pose. Or you could look forward, imagine flying and landing the knees on the backs of the arms. Right? Might take a little practice, but you will get it as you try. Right? Takes abdominal strength, takes some balance. Just think, how would I jump into a crow pose? Okay, everyone else, we're just going to bring the knees high into the backs of the arms. You're going to bend the elbows, tip the weight equally into the hands. Stay here on your toes or lift one or both feet off the floor. Hold and breathe. Inhale a breath here. Exhale, step walker, jump back. Up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Take a breath in child's seat. And this month we are telling the story of the crane. So second time, you could practice trying to jump again if that's something that's interesting to you. Or just set up the feet behind the hands like we just did for our crow pose. I give you the option of crane. Crane is with straight arms. For crane pose, what you do, instead of placing these on the backs of the elbows, you grip the upper arms. You come to the pose with straight arms. And on your fifth breath, step walker, jump back. Slowly lower. Up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. And then come into child's pose. Or go through the vinyasa one time on your own. You know, when I'm stuck on the couch just thinking, it's hard to do anything. It's almost like it creates immobility. I can't get anywhere. But when we find ourselves getting to our practice, to our meditative seat, to our asana practice, maybe to our singing or devotional practice, once we're in it, we're like, God, I'm so glad I made it here. So make time to do your yoga practices. And from here, coming to our downward facing dog, shake the head out, flip the lips. On your next inhale, you're going to roll forward to plank position. You're going to exhale over your knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. Exhale back. Downward facing dog. And then let's come into hands and knees position. We're going to take our cow face next. Gomukhasana. You're going to basically take one knee in front of the other. Take right to begin. Left in the back. Separate the feet. And see if you can sit down in between the place that you've created. If it's really difficult, you could sit on the block here. That'll give you maybe more access to sitting in your cow face. And then you're going to take your hands to your feet. You could just stay here. Just sit up tall. Breathe. If there's tightness in the hips or knees, just breathe here. You want to take it a little bit further. You're going to take your left wrist behind you and try to pull the arm as far as you can. And then you're going to reach your right arm behind. See if you can get hold of fingertips or wrist. I can't, so I'm going to grab a towel here to help create that bind. I'm going to inhale, look up. Exhale, begin to fold forward into that. Beautiful cow face. Long eyelashes, big, beautiful eyes. They're such gentle creatures, right? If you've ever been around cows, very sweet animals. Your next inhale, come up, release the bind. You're going to come forward onto your hands and knees. We're just going to switch sides. So take the right knee back and bring left knee in front of right. And separate the feet far enough so that you can sit down in the space that you created. Again, you might want to consider a block here. This time we're going to take the right wrist behind. Take it as far as you can, that right arm. And then reach overhead with the left arm. Find your bind. Inhale, look up. Exhale, folding forward. On your inhale, come up. Again, we're going to come forward to hands and knees to get out of our cow face. And we're going to tuck the toes under, straighten the legs. On the inhale, roll forward to plank position. Exhale, knees, chest, chin to the floor, seat is high. Inhale, push through to a low cobra. And we're going to hold here. Try to press the feet down so much that your kneecaps lift off the floor. Fingertips in line with the lower ribs, option to lift the hands off the floor an inch. Keep your steady gaze and your equal breath. Inhale 5, exhale, release down. Adjust yourself on the mat if you need to. Turn your face to one side and relax and let go. Forehead down. Now we're going to come into Shalabhasana. This is with straight legs. On inhale, lift your head, chest, straight legs off the floor. Come up. Inhale a little bit higher. Exhale, release down. Turn your face to the opposite side. Relax and let go. Make me an instrument of thy will. Help me in my action, my word, my thought, my deed. Help me be a witness to what's going on right now. And show me where I can be of service, where I can be helpful. Help me not take a day off. Forehead down, bend the knees, take hold of the outside of either ankle. Low pose, inhale, lift your head, chest, knees off the floor. Remember, when we move into our back bending, it's about letting go of the future. Any fear, anxiety, worry, confusion. Instead, we just stay here in the moment with our heart wide open. Continue to stay here and breathe. Release down, turn your face to the opposite side, release your ankles. Again, just surrender for a moment. Let go for a moment. Feel Narayani underneath you. She's supporting you. She's offering you this life. She's offering you the ability to pause in action and begin to see a different perspective. Second time, Dhanurasana, forehead down, bend your knees, take hold of the outside or inside of the ankles. On an inhale, lift your head, chest, knees off the floor. Come up. And then release down. From here, we're going to turn over onto our back. You know, that this is a devotional practice. This is what was explained to me as a new student. That I can infuse my action with devotion. And as many times as I can remember to lift my actions up, to offer them to someone else who's struggling right now, like the Floyd family. Or offer it up to maybe someone that I really am upset and angry with. Could be a world leader. Or even to the highest, to God itself. Get out of my small self way. Offer it up to something bigger. Love and care is always a good aim. All right, let's do our half wheel. You're going to bend your knees, draw your heels close and towards your seats. On the inhale, you're going to lift your lower, middle, upper back off the floor. If you want to do a supportive half wheel here, that's always a good idea. You could place the block long side down right underneath the sacrum. Feels really good to be supported in this pose. If you feel like you got a little bit more energy, you could just interlace hands, lift the hips up, keep a little space around the throat. If you have a block underneath you, stay there. Everyone else, release your hands and gently come down onto your back. So let's try that option. Let's try those three options. Let's do our next fuller half wheel. I will instruct full wheel. You do your half. And then bring your hands to prayer right in front of your heart. And think of someone that you love and adore, that you would like to uplift right now. Don't even edit it. So what came into my mind was my grandmother, Hilda Jean, who passed away some years ago. But what a sweet lady she was. What a sweet mother she was. How much she helped me. So I'm going to offer this first wheel up to her. Half wheel on your own. Full wheel, hands alongside the ears, underneath the shoulders. Pushing into your hands and feet. Come to the top of the head. Or come all the way up. 5 to 8 breaths on your own. After 5 to 8 breaths, come down. And then we'll place our hands in front of Vishuddha Chakra, the place of speech. And just think of someone that you like to speak negatively about. You know, I'll offer up our current president. He's a yogi, he's an enlightened being, he just doesn't see it. If he could see it, he would then be able to act in a way that would be helpful to all. So I'm going to offer this up to him so he can get a glimpse of his true spiritual self. Half wheel on your own. Full wheel, hands alongside the ears, right? It's like the beggar. Here's an opportunity to be of service. Here's an opportunity to get beyond outer appearances and just offer up love and service. When you're ready, come up. 5 to 8 of your own breaths. Once you've completed them, come down. Okay, and then we're going to think of the highest. You can think of a prayer. I love the Our Father prayer. Since I was a little boy, my mom's Catholic. And she offered up these prayers to me when I was younger, and that one always really resonated with me. So whatever the highest is for you, think of that. And think of offering this up to God. You can bring your hands between the eyebrows. Could be to Narayani, right, with her third eye opening. Half wheel on your own, full wheel. Come up, 5 to 8 of your own breaths. Once you came down, and then you just let go of the action. You offer up the action, the dedication, and then you let it go. And just empty the mind. Think of that idea of emptying the mind. The Buddhists give us that beautiful teaching of going way beyond. Right? Go to the emptiness. And then that's where you'll find everything. Make little circular movements in one direction. And then the opposite direction. We're going to rock the length of the mat. Times. I'm going to come up to a seated position. And we're going to set up for a little twist here. So we'll start with straight legs. You're going to bend your right knee. Bring your right foot to the outside of the left knee. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, twist open to the right. Try to sit up nice and tall. If you have a variation you'd like to do, a mudra with a hand, you could do that. Look for your gaze, place, hold, and breathe. Inhale, come center. Exhale, counter twist a little bit to the other side. Come center again, straighten your right leg, bend your left knee, bring your left foot to the outside of your right knee. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, twist to the left. Again, come into a bind if you did. Take a mudra with a hand. Choose your gaze place. Hold and breathe. Inhale, come center. Counter twist a little bit to the other side. Wow. And then straighten both legs. We're going to set up for a forward seated bend, Paschimottanasana. Come onto the front of your sit bones. You're going to inhale, lift up. Exhale, walk the hands forward. Take hold of whatever you can get hold here. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, folding forward. Again, letting go of the past. Next inhale, come up. You're going to bend your knees into your chest. You're going to release your knees out to the side for bound cobbler's pose. You're going to take your thumbs to the insides of your feet. You're going to open your feet up, lift the heart. Exhale, begin to fold forward. You know, I find that these yoga practices, they give me this ability to be more sensitive to what's going on in the world around me. Because I have the stability of the practice, I can handle what's going on in the world, no matter how difficult it is, right? I just double down in my practice. I find some truth. I find peace of mind. I feel my heart is open, and I feel like that I can be here for the conversation that we're having right now. You know, I can slow down, cannot react from a place of small self, but instead elevate to that place of the higher self that is ready and able to be present for this moment. Your next inhale, come up. And straighten your legs. Something else that Sharon says a lot is that we can be a victim or an enlightened being, but we can't be both. So it's important to make a choice, you know, even in moments like now. Do I want to cower back and feel like I have no help, that I'm alone, that I'm helpless, or do I want to feel like I am steady, I am joyful, I am ready to connect hand to hand, arm to arm, and be part of something that is uplifting and moving us towards a solution. All right, from here, we do this sometimes, but I hate when people do it, so let's not do that. Let's come into our shoulder stand. If you want to bring your legs up a wall or the side of the sofa, that's an option. You can set up padding for your neck if you need it. Come to Halasana. Place your hands on your back and lift the legs up. Try to keep a little space around the throat. Now this month we're going to have a lot of emphasis on inversions, turning our lives upside down so that we can practice steady focus, steadiness in our seat, peace of mind, elevated consciousness. Right, so then as we come out of our practice and we find sometimes the world seems like it's turned upside down right now, we can apply our yoga practices to these situations. Make me an instrument of thy peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring love. Where there is discord, let me bring harmony. Where there's darkness, light. Where there's untruth, let me bring truth. Where there's fear, let me bring love. Where there's misunderstanding, let me bring that which is understood. Let me be part of the solution, part of the conversation. Let me be not afraid to make mistakes in that conversation. Help me be a student so I may learn and maybe say the wrong thing in trying to understand. Allow me to be corrected by those who are trying to teach me. How can I help? I can help by beginning to listen and to learn. Let's inhale a breath here. Exhale, lower the feet overhead, coming to your Halasana. Interlace your hands here. Draw the arms long. If your feet don't reach the floor, just keep your hands on your back, knees towards your forehead. Hold and breathe. You're going to release your hands. Keep your head on the floor, arms pressing down. Gently roll all the way onto your back. And then we're going to take a little fish pose here, so give yourself some room. Bring the arms alongside the body, pushing into your forearms and elbows. Lift the back of the head off the floor. As you do this, lift the chest up. Bring the top of the head to the floor. Think of this pose as a way to purify the throat chakra, your speech, the things that you say. Chin up, come down. All right, so from here you have a choice to come into headstand, which I will teach, half or full headstand. If you want to remain lying here, just come into reclining goddess pose. Bend the knees, feet together, keep the knees bent, allow the knees to fall to either side of the mat. For Sirsasana headstand, you're going to come here on hands and knees. You're going to interlace your fingers, bring your elbows a little bit closer than shoulder distance. Top of the head on the floor behind your hands. Tuck the toes under, straighten the legs. Walk the feet in and then stay here in your half pose. Press 80% of the weight in the arms, a little bit less in the head. You want shoulder blades to move away from ears. If you feel stable and you understand the base, then draw one knee into your chest. Stay here. If you can lift the other foot off the floor without kicking up, come into the egg shape. If you're ready, come all the way up. Find one place within that sequence where you can be steady, where you can find focus, where you can breathe in a conscious way. Again, turning our world upside down in a safe place so that we can establish connection, so that we can take the seat of the witness. Hold and breathe here. When you're ready, come down. After we finish our practice this morning, part of your homework is going to be to do some more inversions. Right? Maybe do a shoulder stand for a little bit longer, hold a 5-minute headstand. Of course, sitting in meditation is always a good practice daily. Okay, when you're ready from here, we're going to set up for our Shavasana. And maybe I'll do this today. As everyone sets up in Shavasana, I'll read you the story that David has given us this month. It's very beautiful. So lie down. Place your body in a gesture of letting go, of surrender, feet at least hip distance apart. See if you can turn the palms up as an offering. And then close the eyes. And relax and let go. I'll read you this beautiful story. We have time, yes. So he gives us the Patanjali's Yoga Sutra, 4th chapter, 15th. Sutra Vastu Samye Chitta Bedat Tayor Vibhaktaha Pantahaha. Each individual person perceives the same object in a different way, according to their own state of mind and projections. Everything is empty from its own side and appears according to how you see it. The Yellow Crane Tower. The Yellow Crane has long since gone away. All that here remains is the Yellow Crane Tower. The Yellow Crane once gone does not return. White clouds drift slowly for 1,000 years. The river is clear in Hanyang, by the trees, and the fragrant grass grows thick on the Parrot Isle. In this dusk, I don't know where my homeland lies. The river's mist-covered waters bring me sorrow. Xu Hao, 704 AD, wrote this poem reflecting on a famous tale about an innkeeper, a beggar, and a yellow crane. As the story goes, there was a man named Shin who owned a small tavern. One day, a beggar appeared asking for a bowl of wine. Mr. Shin did not judge the beggar for his shabby appearance, but instead offered him a large bowl of wine for free. For some time, the man kept coming into the tavern asking for wine. Every time Mr. Shin would serve him without showing even a hint of annoyance. One day the man told Shin, "I owe you a lot of money, but I have no money to pay you." Then he took out an orange peel from his bag and drew a yellow crane on the wall with it. "Just clap your hands when you have guests here and the crane will dance," said the Raggedy Man. He clapped his hands and sang a song, and almost immediately the crane jumped off the wall and began to dance to the music. Shin's pub became famous for the dancing crane. Many visitors came to see the exceptional bird with their own eyes. Mr. Shin's tavern was never empty, and he became very wealthy. One day the man returned, still in ragged clothes. Mr. Shin thanked the man and offered to provide him with a living for the rest of his life. The man laughed and said, "That's not the reason why I came here." Then he took out a flute, began to play a tune, and as he played his flute, the clouds descended from the sky, and the crane flew down toward them. The man climbed onto the back of the bird and flew up into the sky. Mr. Shin believed the man was a Taoist, so as an expression of gratitude, he built a tower on the precise spot where the crane rider flew to the sky. It was named Hong He Lu, which means Yellow Crane Tower. Who is the beggar and who is the yellow crane? Together they are more than the sum of their parts. We could say that the crane represents nature and the beggar represents human beings. Separately, they only really fulfilled the mundane roles of the poor fellow and a bird, but together they were capable of magical, mystical feats of transcendence. What is the reason that the beggar and his crane appeared? Both beggar and crane represented an opportunity. The beggar presented an opportunity for the innkeeper to be generous and not judgmental, or to judge him harshly and according to norms. The crane presented an opportunity to experience a bird as a person. As they flew away at the end of the story, the crane represented our disappearing natural world, and the beggar represented our disappearing belief in magic. The Yellow Crane Tower is located in Wuhan. It's located in Wuhan, and so it is fitting contemplation for this time in the world. But could each of us see a beggar and his bird as an opportunity? Or do we see them as just a subnormal human magician with a trick bird, looking to benefit themselves? Often we feel that generosity only benefits others, not ourselves. But the truth is, whatever way we act toward others has an equal effect upon ourselves. In order to be cruel to others, we must first be cruel to ourselves. To harm others, we must first harm ourselves. And to be kind to others, we must first also be kind towards ourselves. The beggar was no ordinary person, though. He was a wizard or even a yogi. The crane was no ordinary crane, but a magic dancer, a daimon, or familiar to the wizard. It was the innkeeper's generosity and graciousness that was the catalyst for the dancing crane. The appearance of the wizard and the accumulation of the innkeeper's wealth. The story itself would not have no meaning if the innkeeper had chased off the beggar and cursed him. Instead, because the innkeeper acted out of the ordinary, we have a fable that endures for centuries and a formula for revolution, personally, nationally, and globally. This revolution takes us away from self-interest and brings us closer to the ways of being that could transform the world we live in with magic and mystery. Wow. Thank you, David Life. Such a beautiful story, such a beautiful focus for this month. Begin to slowly lengthen your next inhale. Begin to bring consciousness back into the body. Come to a comfortable upright seat when you're ready. And you can always restart with the sound of Om. You can always invite peace, Shanti in. We can call for it through our singing. So let's come sit quietly here and then allow that sound, which is already inside of all of us, to come out. Shanti. And then bring our hands to prayer in front of our hearts. We give thanks to all of our teachers, especially the inner guiding teacher, the Sadguru. Bowing forward, Om Bolo, Sadguru Bhagavan Ki Jai. Hari Om Tat Sat. And inhaling, come up. Nice to see all of you. Thank you so much for showing up for practice. I just got my new copy of Sharon's new book, Yoga and Veganism, The Diet of Enlightenment. Very excited to begin to study and share it with all of you. Next week we'll be on Zoom officially. So get your Zoom app set up, and it should be a flawless transition. I look forward to seeing you on Zoom. Again, you can always communicate to me on social media, on Facebook, on Instagram. You can find my YouTube channel where I'm posting yoga classes. And everyone, remember to do your meditation practice, and I'll see you soon. Namaste.